Hello and welcome to GodCenter. This week we have yet another interview, but y'all about to be highly blessed. Get ready. Get ready. Go get some snacks, press the pause button, get some snacks, and come back and take a look. Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to GodCenter. Today I have two awesome guests on this show. I'm just thanking God for this blessing. I'm not going to introduce them because I don't feel I could do them due justice, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Go ahead and take it.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Michelle Carter. I am a 3-time Olympian, 2016 Olympic Gold-medalist for Team USA. I am the first American woman to win gold in the women's shot put since the event started in 1948. I'm also the founder of Youth Throw Girls Sports Confidence Camp, which is my sports confidence camp for young girls, young female athletes, and One Golden Shot, which is my nonprofit. And I'm an entrepreneur.
Wow. Okay. Now, hubby.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Elder. I'm the first American man or first man in the world to ever marry the first American woman to win gold in the Olympics. I put a ring on it.
Awesome.
But yes, I work in the as a consultant in the education field. So I travel and I speak. I'm a former outpatient psychotherapist, and I also do some business consulting now.
Okay. Well, as I said, I have these two amazing, phenomenal people on the show today. So we're going to jump into this interview. This interview is a couples interview. We are talking about marriage, and we're going to get into it. So you guys knew each other since you've been 5 years old. Is that right?
Yes. We grew up at church together.
Wow. So that's 30 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Did y'all have any inkling of an imagination that y'all would ever be spouses?
No, not at all. Cause it was like he was just a friend, and even when he was like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, we're friends."
Okay, y'all, you heard that? So maybe some of y'all need to be moving people from the friend zone. I'm just saying. So y'all might already have your spouse. I'm just saying. That's
right.
There's nothing wrong with the friend zone.
Okay, that's true. Okay, so after having known each other for 30 years, are you still learning about each other now in the marriage?
Yes, because it's different when you're dating someone versus someone as your friend, because you have to know them in a different way. So as friends, he was cool. I knew you. It was like more surface than anything. Right. But when you start to date, especially since we're older and we were dating, you have to get to really, really know someone on a different level. So I see a whole different side of him when it came to dating versus us just being friends.
Okay, and hubby?
Yeah, I agree.
He could.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like I know her, but then once we started dating, it was like we have to really get to know each other. Because I ended up living on the East Coast for 14 years too, so that was a long time that we didn't see each other. We were able to keep in touch through Facebook, things like that, but it really wasn't close contact like we had before.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. So now, all right. So Courtney and Michelle, both of you are athletes. Now, do y'all ever find yourself competing against each other?
Listen, this one right here, we can't play games with him. Like normally what happens, like for New Year's, we get together with friends, they'll come over and play games, and all my friends like, I don't want to play with Courtney. Like, can we play something else while he plays this? Like, I don't want to play with him because he gets so competitive. I'm like, babe, it ain't worth all that.
I like having fun and playing the games.
No.
But once they start talking noise, then I turn it up another level.
No.
Other than that, we're just gonna relax, have fun. I'm still gonna try to win.
We go from 0 to 1,000.
But once they start talking noise,
so when they start talking smack that you go from 0 to 1,000. That's what it sounds like.
I get activated.
But this is what happens. They could be sitting there like, oh, you gonna play that chord? Like, oh, you want to play that chord? But then watch this. And then he just keeps going. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you can't even talk a little bit of trash. Like, just normal trash talking.
I don't start talking noise. I just like to play, have fun. I'm gonna be quiet, have fun. But once they start talking noise and jabbing, like, okay, you sure this
Okay. And so now that's with your friends. What about with y'all? Does it ever go kind of like too far and y'all are like getting kind of tense with the competition?
I don't play with him.
No, I mean, we started off actually before we were dating. I had moved back to Texas and I was still traveling for work, and I like to go bowling. That's one of my favorite things to do. Right. So while I was out bowling for one of my work trips by myself, I was rolling high scores and I was putting the pictures on my storyline. Okay. Somebody sent the message talking noise saying, well, it's easy to roll high scores when you're by yourself. So she started off talking noise, and I said, well, we can get together at any point in time and you can get this work. Okay. So we tried several times to get together, but our schedule, never lined up for a while until it was after the Olympics when our schedule finally lined up. And we went bowling. Her friends were there, and she didn't win a game.
The minute he sees the scores post or I'm beating him, he's like, "Oh, I gotta take it up a notch." And I'm like,
"Oh, okay." So it sounds like it's all in love and fun. So that's cool. Now, how do you guys resolve conflict, disagreements in your marriage?
Oh, girl, you just went from fun to the serious question.
Yeah, because I kind of try to ease into it with competition, but then now, we know with two people are different. They're gonna. So I just want to know, to help other people, how do y'all work things out? I know, for example, in people say, well, don't go to bed angry, things like that. What do y'all do? How do y'all resolve conflict in your marriage?
It depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation. Sometimes I have to just let him be. Sometimes he needs to let me be. Sometimes we might need to talk about it right then and there. Right. And sometimes, well, it's normally him who needs the time to process it, then come back and talk about it 10 days later. But it just depends. It depends.
Depends on what it is.
It depends. But right. I do feel what I could say for me, what I've been working on the most is just letting him know how I feel about something. Because it's so easy to you don't want to let them know how you feel about it until you find or figure out how you want the solution. But if something hurts my feelings, like, hey, you hurt my feelings. Right. Like if I'm disappointed, hey, you disappointed me. Like I really was thinking this and you did this, like what's up? And just kind of just letting them know where I'm at. Because I think a lot of times our problems or frustrations come out of neither one of us really knew what the other one wanted or really what they needed in that moment. And we never really sat down and cleared it up.
Right. Okay.
Expectations sometimes get in the way. But yeah, sometimes we talk things out. Sometimes we need our separate space. I need my space to process. Sometimes we'll go to our corners and then come back. Okay. And then I always try to get a hug and a kiss.
Oh, that's super sweet.
I'm a physical touch person, so even if I'm angry, or we're upset about something, if I can get a hug or a kiss or something like that, that helps my process.
Right.
Calming down, refocusing.
That's helpful. I think that's helpful for us to know, because certainly, knowing each other for so long, I would think if I know someone for that long, I'm gonna say, well, I know they got to know how I felt about this. So you have to know. So sometimes we expect that men, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, we think surely you had to have known what that was going to make me feel, how that was going to make me feel. And so I'm just going to sit here and give you the silent treatment until you figure it out. And after you silent for a couple of hours, it's not working, so communication is key. So that was an awesome take home point. Now, Mr. Courtney, I see that you have several degrees. You have a degree in psychology, theater, and psychotherapy. What do you plan on doing with this combination of degrees, like a psychological thriller or play of all time? Like what you got coming to us? I'm really wanting to know about this.
I don't know. No thriller coming, but I mean, I worked as an outpatient therapist for about 6 years. Doing direct therapy. I had groups, individuals. I worked with children from as young as 3 to adults well into their 60s, doing mental health and addictions, couples therapy, family, had anger management groups. So I really enjoyed that and was able to use some of the theater background in that field. Then I transitioned and I started doing some childhood obesity prevention, where I was traveling around the country doing professional development for educators. So sometimes I was on the stage with 1,000 people at one time, or several hundred. So the theater background, the psychology, and the psychotherapy all came into play with what I'm doing professionally now. Because I get to speak with people, I get to have fun, I get to engage with each other, other folks, as well as help build them up at the same time with staff wellness and mindset and things like that. So I really enjoy what I'm doing because I'm able to use all of my skill sets and things that I've learned all at one time.
Okay, that's amazing. That's awesome. Now, Michelle, do you ever feel like he's using all those things to get in here and get his way with you? Or what you thinking? Because I was looking at, I said, my goodness, the theater going, he know how to put on, he could probably start crying for no reason. I'm just like, well, he got psychotherapy going. I'm like, I don't know what's going on over there, Michelle.
Right? No, it's funny because sometimes I'm like, well, you the one who was a therapist, like you should know how to work this out sometimes. But it's different when he's on on the other end. You can't be the patient and the therapist.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Early on when we were dating, we had a lot of conversations and stuff, and things would come up, and she was like, "You're not my therapist." So it was a lot, a lot of conversations early on, and then of course, just as we respect each other's boundaries, like, no, you're not my client,
Right.
Just share with you when you ask. If you don't, then we're just gonna, keep living until it's time to share.
Right. I know that could be tricky for sure. Because sometimes when that's your profession, you see something and you like, I think I'm identifying something in you, and I want to, diagnose you, so I definitely
I learned to let people live.
I be like, listen, don't diagnose me till you diagnose yourself. Then we can talk about it.
That's awesome. So now we're down to our last question. So what intentional things do you guys do individually or as a couple to take your absolute best shot at marriage?
I think I just try to really be honest. Because I think that sometimes, especially as women, we like to downplay how we really feel or what we really want just for the sake of getting along. And sometimes we do have to be honest of what we expect from each other, what we really want, because then you kind of get stuck in this cycle of constantly being disappointed or constantly feeling like you're never being heard. And I've seen that in so many other marriages where I try to be as expressive as I can in a nice way, because your girl kind of direct sometimes and I have to watch it.
Yes.
But I just try to really be honest, because I can't expect him to fix a situation or help with the situation or even know about the situation if I'm not honest with my feelings or what was going on in that moment. So sometimes I have to really sit down and try to put together my words and like, let me know how you made me feel, or let me just let you know how I feel right now and why this isn't working the way that I thought it would work. And this is what I thought I wanted or expected, or you know what? Matter of fact, I changed my mind. I thought I wanted that. I don't want that. So it's like, it's this balance of just really kind of being honest, because at the same time, we're both evolving as individuals. So something you may have liked the day before, the next day you may not like it.
Right.
And vice versa. I might be in one stage in life and he's in a different stage of life. And sometimes those two will bump heads because we're not in the same space, and just trying to figure it out. But at the same time, giving each other space to grow into the person that you were created to be and not the person that I want you to be. Okay.
Mr. Courtney?
Yeah, for me, piggybacking off of that with being honest and having the conversations, my intentions are to be patient and allow her the space to grow and process what she needs to at times, because we are both constantly growing, things change, but just being patient and being super supportive and trying to be present, so when she needs things, to be there and get things done and try to do some things that she needs done even though she haven't asked for me to do. And so I try to do things like that, big things, small things, but just be present and as supportive as I can, and working on being even more transparent, because even though we're committed to each other, we still have to continue to let each other get as close could be. And that's still a process. Even though we're married in year 2, we're still getting to know each other during this process as we're continuing to change. So that's still a challenge, but it's still a goal, to go from 2 to 1, where we can, really just sit there and vibe and know what each other is really thinking. But it takes time and work to find that groove. So that's my focus for us to work on it. It may take some time, but we get there.
Okay, well, that is so awesome. Well, this has been so awesome. I'm so glad that you guys were able to be on here, and I pray that you guys being transparent today will help another couple out there, because marriage is under attack. It's going through. It's real out here, and that's really on my heart, and that's the nature of why I'm doing these videos, to really just be blessed to be a blessing. Y'all are blessed in what you're doing. Both of y'all are believers as well, so praise God. There's no unequal yoke going on, and I mean, that's just amazing from the jump. And then you guys have known each other, so this is really beautiful. And I just thought, like, man, it would be a blessing to interview you guys. So it's really just a blessing that you guys were able to be on this show. So I really appreciate you coming on here. So is there anything that you wanted to say in closing?
I would say, like, when it comes to marriage, just don't rush it. Don't rush it. And give space to the other person, because even though we're one, like, we're not like inside each other's bodies, type of one, like, we don't have to be together all the time. And it's okay for them to have their own thing outside of you. I think that's important, because I know in the beginning you're thinking like, oh, we're together all the time. And then when it happened, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, it's cool. You can go hang out with your friends. You got it. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. You know what? You go ahead. I'll stay home. And then it's good to kind of have that space and like, enjoy the time together, but it's still okay to enjoy your time by yourself.
Awesome. Well, very good. And I do have an inquiry. I heard that you have a makeup line that's fixing to launch. Any insider information on when we can expect this line?
Well, Auntie Rona has messed up a lot of things in this season. So it's going to be hard to give a hard date, because things change all the time. Right. So I can't do that. But the goal is to have it before the end of the year.
Okay, well, we will be on the lookout for that, because we are excited for it, most definitely. Okay, you guys. So that is a wrap on that amazing video with Michelle Carter Elder and her husband, Courtney Elder. I mean, God bless this couple for being so willing to come and share. Just give us a peek into their marriage and how they are doing marriage God's way. And I just encourage you guys to share this video, like this video, subscribe, because there's going to be more, I suspect, of Miss Michelle and Mr. Courtney to come on GodCenter, as well as other amazing persons of God, and perhaps some saints and ain'ts that might be coming on here. So I really just want to encourage y'all to don't miss out on any episodes at all. It's been a busy week, but we are pressing through. We are making way, and we just want to see what God is going to do in blessing you and your friends and family with these videos. So that is it for this GodCenter episode. Be sure to keep God at the center of all you do. Bye-bye.